Was my first film, but it was also my first anything.
Karate Kid wasn't just a movie, it was a phenomenon from shocking transformations to unexpected career changes. Some of these celebs took paths no one saw coming. Some stayed in Hollywood, others took surprising paths, and a few completely disappeared from the spotlight. Where are they now? Let's find out what really happened to the actors of The Karate Kid. 15. Jaden Smith. Ever wondered what happened to the stars of The Karate Kid? Let's start with Jaden Smith, the kid who took on bullies in Beijing with some serious kung fu moves alongside Jackie Chan. Jaden Christopher Smith, born on July 8, 1998, was practically Hollywood royalty from the get-go. His parents are none other than Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, but he didn't just ride on their fame, he carved out his own path in both acting and music. Jaden made his big screen debut in The Pursuit of Happiness, acting alongside his dad. That father-son duo returned in after, though that one didn't exactly set the box office on fire. Before that, he dabbled in sci-fi with The Day the Earth Stood Still and, of course, had his breakout role in The Karate Kid, where he played Dre Parker, a kid learning martial arts from Jackie Chan's Mr. Han. Acting wasn't Jaden's only passion. Music became a major part of his life. Never Say Never, that hit with Justin Bieber, that was Jaden, and it went big, like top 10 on the Billboard charts and quintuple platinum. Big. He didn't stop there. Over the years, he dropped mixtapes and albums, signing with Rock Nation and Interscope. His debut album, Sire, made waves, followed by Eyes and CTV 3 Cool Tape Volume 3. In 2022, he snagged a Grammy nomination for his work on Bieber's Justice album. A sequel was announced in 2014 with Jaden and Jackie Chan set to return. Fans were hyped, but then nothing. The project hit a standstill and Jaden's focus shifted. Instead of another round of martial arts, he explored fashion, philanthropy, and even voice acting in Netflix's Neo Yokio. What's Jaden up to today? Still making music, pushing creative boundaries, and occasionally popping up in the film. His Karate Kid days made him a household name, even if the sequel never happened. Would you have wanted to see Karate Kid 2, or do you think the first one was enough? Number 14. Rob Garrison. From Cobra Kai to today. The story of Rob Garrison from The Karate Kid, that legendary final fight, had everything: LaRusso, Lawrence, and an electrified crowd. But do you remember the unmistakable voice that cheered from the sidelines? That voice came from Rob Garrison, the actor behind Tommy, one of Johnny's most loyal friends. But his career wasn't just about delivering one iconic line. What path did Garrison take after The Karate Kid? Born in 1960, Rob Garrison had acting in his blood. From an early age, he started performing in high school theater and eventually earned a full scholarship to Ohio University's theater program. By the time he graduated in 1982, he had already made his way into Hollywood, landing a small role in the Robert Redford film Brubaker. Everything changed when he auditioned for The Karate Kid. Believe it or not, he originally tried out for the role of Johnny Lawrence, the film's main antagonist. That, of course, went to William Zabka, but Garrison still landed a spot as Tommy, one of Cobra Kai's most energetic members. While he may not have been the leader of the group, he left his mark with one of the most quoted lines in the entire franchise. Following the success of The Karate Kid, Garrison continued acting throughout the 1980s and 1990s, appearing in shows like MacGyver, Saint Elsewhere, Coach, and Kung Fu. The legend continues. He also had a role in Iron Eagle and even popped up in a music video for No More Kings in 2007, which hilariously parodied The Karate Kid. Acting wasn't his only passion, as the Years went on. He spent more time working in local theater productions in Wheeling, West Virginia, staying connected with fans and the entertainment industry. Shortly after filming his Cobra Kai scenes, Garrison's health took a turn for the worse. He had been dealing with kidney and liver issues, and in September 2019 he was admitted to a hospital in West Virginia, where he spent a month before passing away at the age of 59. To honor him, Cobra Kai Season 3 opened with a tribute to Garrison, making sure that his legacy number Karate Kid 1994, where he mentored Hilary Swank instead of Ralph Macchio. Outside of the franchise, he stayed active in Hollywood, lending his voice as the Emperor of China in Disney's Mulan, and appearing in numerous films and TV shows, from being TYP cast as a comedian to becoming an Oscar-nominated martial arts mentor. Pat Morita's story is one of resilience, talent, and cultural influence. He may be gone, but thanks to the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi's wisdom will live on forever. Number 12. Francis Bay. Ever thought about the other faces in the movie? When the Karate Kid comes to mind, it's usually Mr. Miyagi's wisdom, Daniel's underdog journey, and that epic final fight. But what about the smaller roles that helped shape the story? Frances Bai, the sweet yet feisty elderly woman, made a brief but memorable appearance. She may not have been the main focus, but her career was filled with iconic performances. Unlike many actors who start young, Frances Bay didn't fully dive into acting until her 50s, but that didn't mean she lacked experience. Back in the 1930s, she worked in radio, hosting programs aimed at entertaining soldiers overseas during World War II. She had the talent, but life took her in different directions until she finally returned to acting in the 1970s. Even if you don't consider her in the Karate Kid, you've definitely seen her in other classics. David Lynch loved casting her in his films, bringing her into Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, and Twin Peaks, where she played the mysterious Mrs. Trond. If you're a comedy fan, you probably know her best as Adam Sandler's grandma and Happy Gilmore, the one who had to stay in the nursing home with that horrible orderly. Number 11. Fumio Dura. Pat Morita will always be remembered as the wise and unforgettable Mr. Miyagi, but was he the one behind those legendary fight scenes? There was another man whose martial arts skills and philosophy helped shape the character in a major way. Fumio Dura, a true martial arts master who wasn't just a stunt double, he was one of the real-life inspirations for Mr. Miyagi himself. His expertise, dedication, and influence played a huge role in making the Karate Kid the classic it is today. Born in 1938 in Japan, Fumio Dura dedicated his life to karate and kabuto. By the time he moved to California in 1965, he was already a highly respected martial artist. It didn't take long for him to build a name in the U.S., where he became known for his unbelievable skill with traditional weapons like the nunchaku, bao staff, and sai. Over the years, he didn't just teach karate, he wrote books, trained fighters, and starred in films. If you've ever seen The Island of Dr. Moreau or Rising Sun, you've actually seen Dura in action. But his biggest Hollywood moment came when he joined the Karate Kid franchise in the 1980s. He performed the stunts, fight choreography, and authentic martial arts sequences that made Mr. Miyagi feel like the real deal. But it wasn't just about the moves. His dedication and deep understanding of karate shaped the character in a big way. Pretty cool, right? Even the screenwriter Robert Mark Kamen admitted that Mr. Miyagi was partly based on Dura himself. Fumio Dura passed away on April 24, 2023 at the age of 84, but his influence lives on. His work in the Karate Kid series helped shape one of the most beloved characters in movie history, and his legacy in martial arts remains untouchable. Number 10. Ralph Macchio. Why is Ralph Macchio still one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces? The Karate Kid gave us one of the most unforgettable underdog stories in movie history, but it wasn't just about the fights, it was about Daniel LaRusso's journey, and at that he rocked a musician role in Crossroads, took on Broadway alongside Robert De Niro in Cuba and his teddy bear, and gave us some laughs in My Cousin Vinny as a college student wrongly accused of a crime for years. Karate Kid fans wondered if they'd ever see Macchio return to the role that made him famous. Then in 2018, Cobra Kai premiered, bringing Daniel LaRusso back into action. The show became a massive success, introducing the Karate Kid legacy to a new generation while keeping longtime fans hooked. In 2024, Macchio finally received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, placed right next to Pat Morita's. It was a full-circle moment that honored both his career and the impact of the Karate Kid franchise. Number 9. Yuji Okamoto. The Karate Kid Part 2 introduced a new kind of rival, Chosen Taguchi, a fierce Okan fighter who took his grudge against Daniel LaRusso to dangerous level, while Chosen eventually redeemed himself decades later in Cobra Kai. The man who played him, Yuji Okamoto, never needed a redemption arc in real life. You might remember Okamoto as the tough guy from that classic 80s martial arts movie, but in real life he didn't just disappear after playing the villain. Nope. He kept things interesting. He took on all kinds of roles, got into producing, and even started his own business. Talk about a career glow up. Did you know Yuji Okamoto got his start in theater? Yep. Born in 1959, he first grabbed Hollywood's attention with a standout role in the play Indians that led to an agent, then TV gigs like The Young and The Restless, and eventually movies like Real Genius and Better Off Dead. But let's be real, his big moment came when he played Chosen in the Karate Kid Part 2. That role made him a face you couldn't forget. What's your favorite Chosen moment? For over 30 years, Chosen was just a memory in Karate Kid history, until Season 3 of Cobra Kai brought him back in a big way. But this wasn't the same hot-headed, honor-obsessed fighter from 1986. Instead, we met a wiser, humbled Chosen who had spent decades learning from his mistakes. Number 8. William Zabka. Could William Zabka's career be one of Hollywood's greatest comebacks? Back in the 80s, he was best known as Johnny Lawrence the Bully. Everyone loved to hate in the Karate Kid, but in real life his Hollywood journey took a very different path, one that few saw come. What changed for him, and why do audiences love a great redemption story, both on and off the screen, instead of fading into the background? After his breakout role, he transformed his career, stepping behind the camera, directing award-winning projects, and eventually returning to the role that made him famous in a way no one saw coming. His path was anything but ordinary. So what led him from the Cobra Kai dojo to one of the biggest comebacks in Hollywood? Zabka landed his first ever movie role as Johnny Lawrence in The Karate Kid, instantly becoming one of the most iconic villains of the 80s. He had zero martial arts experience at the time. In reality, he was a wrestler, not a karate fighter. The movie inspired him to take up Tang Soo Do, and he eventually earned a second-degree green belt in 2018 after years of speculation and fan demand. Zabka and Ralph Macchio reunited for a Karate Kid sequel series, but this wasn't just a nostalgia trip. It flipped the script. This time we saw the story Hollywood doesn't want you to know. Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to mention #Mystic. Topic number 7. New McCarthy. Isn't it amazing how some actors can leave a lasting impression even with limited screen time? That's exactly what New McCarthy did in The Karate Kid Part 2 as Yuki. She brought elegance and quiet strength to the role, making her presence feel way bigger than the minutes she was actually on screen. While many fans memorize her as Daniel's love interest mother, McCarthy's career was so much more than just one role in the Karate Kid universe. From groundbreaking performances to behind-the-scenes contributions, her journey through Hollywood was full of fascinating moments that often go unnoticed. So what made her career stand out, and why is she still worth talking about today? Born in 1934, Nobu McCarthy wasn't originally aiming for an acting career. In fact, she was first known for her beauty and grace. She even won Miss Tokyo as a teenager, but Hollywood had other plans for her. While out shopping in Little Tokyo, Los Angeles, she was discovered by talent agent Fred Ishimoto. That unexpected encounter led to her landing a role in Jerry Lewis's comedy The Geisha Boy, which kicked off her journey in film and television. However, her most recognizable role for many fans came in 1986 when she joined The Karate Kid Part 2 as Yuki, the long-lost love of Mr. Miyagi. Her performance was quiet yet powerful, adding depth to Miyagi's backstory and giving fans a glimpse into his past. The role may have been a supporting one, but it helped round out one of the franchise's most beloved characters. While many remember her for The Karate Kid, McCarthy's most critically acclaimed role came later in The Wash. This independent film earned her a nomination for Best Female Lead at the Independent Spirit Awards. That's a huge honor. Have you seen it? If not, you're missing out on one of her best performances. McCarthy's career proved that talent and perseverance can carve out a space in Hollywood even when the industry wasn't always welcoming. She balanced grace and strength in every role, bringing authenticity to the characters she portrayed. Sadly, she passed away in 2002, but her legacy lives on. Whether it was her touching role in The Karate Kid Part 2 or her award-nominated performance in The Wash, McCarthy left behind a body of work that still resonates today. Number 6. Martin Kove. Does Martin Kove deserve more credit for his Hollywood legacy? Few movie villains are as intimidating as John Cree, the ruthless Cobra Kai sensei, whose no mercy mantra made him one of the most feared characters in The Karate Kid. Beyond the black G and intense stare, there's Martin Kove, the man who turned Kreese into an unforgettable cinematic antagonist. While many recognize him for his role in the franchise, Kove's career has been Japanese internment camps during World War II. A few years later, she joined an ensemble cast in The Joy Luck Club, a critically acclaimed drama based on Amy Tan's novel. This film further solidified her as a serious actress, showing for years fans asked what happened to Kumiko after The Karate Kid Part 2. Then, in 2021, Tamlin Tomita finally returned to Cobra Kai Season 3, but her role was more than just fan service. She helped Daniel reconnect with his past and remember Mr. Miyagi's lessons. He passed away in 1996 at the age of 60. While he may not have had the same mainstream recognition as some of his Karate Kid co-stars, his work, especially Edo, ruins unforgettable to fans of the franchise. Who was your favorite actor from the franchise, and which stories surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe.